People, we're live. We're talking to my boy Trent Kaniuga. Welcome to the live stream of live streams. I know a lot of you have been getting into those 10 o'clock live streams. My run with these 11 o'clockers are, I don't know, I'm experimenting. I'm trying to see if maybe some of that 10 o'clock traffic wants to hang out at 11 o'clock. But whatever. I got this long obsession. It's a problem. It's a big problem in my creative life, in my creative journey. I hate that term. Creative journey. That's the term I hate. Trent Kaniuga. This was my introduction to his work. I bought this at a comic book shop in New Jersey called 10D. I've been through multiple editions of this. My original was just like completely shredded. Before Trent popped on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, wherever the heck it was, I bought like a big lot of Creed comics, just knowing that people were going to speculate and the prices were going to go crazy. So I went all in on this one bundle. So I got like multiples of these. At one time, I had this collected edition. This collects Hall of Heroes Creed 1 and 2. I had like a stack of them at one time, and I just like kind of like threw them out because I even bought that off of eBay for like $5-6 at one point. But no. So teaching is learning, and I don't know. I feel like I have to show this off and demonstrate this because this is of all the things that have happened in comics and creators that I followed. I would say like maybe this is the absolute most heartbreaking one, strictly for the fact that I saw Trent Kaniuga as the next McFarlane, somewhat working in a McFarlane style. I thought there was John Creary from Marvel Comics, and I think he did Booth for Image. His contemporary Matt Martin. Not so much EBS. Not a lot of McFarlane in early EBS, but I thought Trent, of all of those guys I just named, Trent really was able to magnify. Like he just like it was almost like Mercury. He was able to pull in these elements and give us this. And I really thought we gotta kind of play with a little bit of these. See, like I want me to be the big one, right? So let's just remove that and then re-add, right? Here we go. So when we flip through this, okay, it's easy to see the McFarlane isms. Do I need to point them out? The water here, the P. I mean, the P alone, we know is McFarlane. The layering, again, he's young. Some of the background layering, kind of like the trick for backgrounds. You want to go from like dark to light, dark to light, dark to light. This is something to be learned. The profile shot, McFarlane. But it's hyper. It's a little bit of anime. I know people might want to argue it's a lot of anime with the bigger eyes, but it's not to me. It's very McFarlane. I'm just going to say McFarlane a lot. The splash, the liquid effects. So a lot of these things, right? But the reason why Trent caught my imagination is he was a kid in high school who really just seemed to be able to sit down and do it, sit down and draw. And all the Hall of Heroes guys, Hall of Heroes might be the best collection of young talent, young artists. It's mind-boggling. It's crazy that they, nice Kirby crackle, by the way. But it's just amazing that those three guys got together and they did what they were going to do. And Hall of Heroes as a company, see like the technology, the hair, the flips of the hair, the strains of the hair. It's all TM. And Hall of Heroes, even as a company, tried to move on. They tried to replace these guys, and they couldn't. They had books like Gollum, Dragon Heart, Dragon Lance, Dragon Slayer, something Dragon. Oh, geez, I forget that one. But yeah, but we get Trent here creating solutions, solving problems, just as a young dude getting through this story. So we knew that all the Hall of Hero guys, EBS, Matt Martin, Trent, they were going to go to Marvel and DC. It was just a matter of time. It was just a matter of like who, when, and where. So Trent he went to Marvel, got Ghost Rider, inked by Danny Mickey. I never understood that collaboration. I'll just say I never liked the collaboration of Trent Kaniuga and Danny Mickey. Danny Mickey is too liney, too speckly, too much texture to where Trent was. Okay. Now I never in my life, I never even looked at the pencils of Ghost Rider. I might be Ghost Rider Volume 3, but right, it was written by Gail Simone, drawn by Trent. Really great like motorcycles that he rendered. Did great work on the fire, the chains. A little bit of the problem is the era of Marvel Comics. They were kind of pulling away from the superhero thing, and they were making everything like a little bit more realistic and boring. I say this a lot. There was issues and issues of Wolverine written by Greg Rucka, where Wolverine's naked in the woods, chasing after a Wolverine girl, and the Bruce Jones, right? Was it Bruce Jones who wrote the Incredible Hulk with the Mr. Blue storyline? And it was issue after issue after, like no Hulk, no Incredible Hulk. This was their direct editorial mandate. They pushed this stuff. They were experimenting, which is fine. But at the same time, it did erode the industry. I mean, look, these spirals, like there's a tip of the spiral and then there's a point. This is the tip of the spiral. The 90s were not the end of comics. The 90s was the rebirth of comics. And whatever was left over, those were your new hardcore fanatics. And what Marvel did was they chased that Hollywood nut, and they had this editorial direction that they wanted things out of costume. Look, Bill Jamis, right? Editor EIC with Joe Q, Joe Quesada. Like those two guys, okay, they really derailed. They took away the fun and the impact of the heroes because they were following the Matrix, they were following the X-Men movies, and for whatever reason, they thought that was the way to go. So along the way, we get Trent here, who really should be working on something wild, something crazy. You know, like I should have did like a fantasy casting, right? Like I should have maybe wrote down some ideas of what Trent would have been a good fit for at the time. You could have given Trent anything, and it would have succeeded. It would have went through the roof. It would have popped. But what you did, you gave Trent this strict editorial that took away the fun of his art. And then we have the assassination, which is right here. Oh, by the way, people, I wanted to show this off. I am. Are you guys familiar with Mutant Chronicles? This book is blowing my mind. I'm reading it. I need like another issue and a source book. We're doing something on this, but this is the assassination, okay? And I call this Muties number 4. Love is a. I call this the assassination for multiple reasons. Because I don't feel like there was a way to win. I don't think there was a way for Trent to carry on other than if he became like a favorite within the office, meaning he was a go-to guy. Editors liked him. He could complete assignments. He could sell books. We know Trent can sell books. Okay? Trent's ideas sell video games. Trent's concepts inspired programmers and development teams to like put their nut into their work, to sleep under their desk. So after this, Trent goes like I guess essentially he goes off to Blizzard. He ends up at Blizzard, which at the time, right? I mean, maybe still is. Like is Blizzard the biggest dick on the block? I don't know. I don't know too much about the levels of the video game industry, but I do know who Blizzard is. And we also get this so we get Trent merging with this editorial. Quick shout out, Chris Sotomayor is our colorist here. He comes from the school of Top Cow. This freaking dude, it's incredible. His coloring it's the coloring alone for this book. But this is not to even knock the story. This is one complete story. It's one complete saga. It's an origin story. Okay. It's we're in Brazil. It's a setting. It's a whole pocket of these like mutants and gangs within the Marvel universe. It's very cool and very interesting. And a book like Muties, which is treated like a single issue anthology, it's important because this is the testing ground for a lot of ideas. Books like this are great for Trent, but what you do, this is why I call the fiXXX the assassination. There is nothing for Trent to draw. So the story is just like this guy here with the really cool hair. He's just like a POS. He's cheating on his girl, but she falls in love with him. We have a club scene here because that's exactly what we want from Trent. We want Trent to draw a club. Fight breaks out. Mystery girl saves everyone. Right here. Eventually, the girl we were introduced to in the beginning is going to get pregnant. She gets knocked up. Not revealed yet, but she gets knocked up. Upon getting knocked up, she gets kicked out. This dude's like, "Hey, I got some chicks' clothes. Wear them." And then right here, our protagonist, Babe, she gets spit on, and she's like, "You're with Trey?" And then she's like, "Yo, I got spit on today, this girl." And he's like, "Yeah, that's my sister." So baller player over here. But no, and then, I mean, do you guys see what I'm talking about? Come on. Does anyone see this? We are page after page. So now this girl's pregnant. She's throwing up. Her friend's helping her. There's somewhat of a implied relationship. The mutie girl beats up the gang. Okay. Right here. And this is it. This is it. She beats up the gang, and then the girl's like, "Thank you. You're the best, Lisa." One of the best recruits in Marvel history wasted during the boom period. I mean, I get it. We're in. Do we need to pinpoint the year 2002? All right, we're post 90s, but this is still the boom period. Okay, comic books would go through a solid like 10-year renaissance. This editorial experiment by Marvel was, like continuity, like their vision, foresight, not I don't understand why you don't get Trent on. He did some Marvel Knights covers. We're going to do like a whole retrospective on Trent's time at Marvel, but he did some Marvel Knights covers. Some of those I think had Doctor Strange. That's a little bit of the dude's wheelhouse. Not Doctor Strange. I think he drew like Nightmare, but he should have been doing like breaking in the same way as like Sam Keith. Give him characters. You just gotta let him draw them, and you get the absolute best writer around those pages, and you grow the fuck out of it. Okay, you make that something. I don't know. Politics aside, like I don't know if Trent, Trent's really good with social media. He's really good with YouTube. He may have addressed some of this. I never looked into it because I never really wanted to know. I just more or less wanted to analyze the transition here and the overall like just disappointment, like whatever. Like, why am I going to memorize Star Wars Episode 1 if that was a epic disappointment? I'm just going to move on or not. Everyone, Peter A. DeLuca here. I love you. Cheers, though. Cheers. Cheers to all my late nighters. I'll be drawing tonight. I'll be working on this Wildcat short story. Okay, we did some character designs last night. Wildstorm Wednesdays tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate it. Rock and roll.